Hi guys, welcome back. So I've chosen for this picture the combination of teal and burgundy. And while I flashed on the jeweled colors too, and teal and burgundy would be considered in the jewel colors, I was more emerald green. When I first looked at this, I saw a lot of emerald green and gold. And if I hadn't been working on the frog and working with so much of the greens and blues, I probably would have chosen that. But to stick with what I first saw in this picture and what a lot of other people saw, I've never worked with specifically teal or showed you guys how to create the color teal. And teal obviously is not in the Prismacolor sets. You have to create it. So it's a pretty color. It's a combination of blue and green, and it's very specific. And I've given you, as you could see, the color array, the tonal values for the color teal. And we're going to create that now. Now, a lot of people saw this as being metallic. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to actually put the color in there. And the first color I am starting with is aquamarine. We're shooting for mid-ground, the main basic color. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use white, and we're going to use gray to tone it and create different values for it. And my recommendation for teal for creating a darker value or a darker hue would be the cool grays. Now, it all depends which cool gray you choose is up to you. If you have a heavy hand, go with a lighter percentage. If you have a light hand and you can manage it with the 90%, go for the 90%, and you don't have to pick up the pencils as often. When it comes to lightening it, we're going to add white to it. Now, we're going to begin with the basic color combination. And for teal, the best one that I found was a combination between aquamarine and jade green. And that really made a nice bluish teal. There's variations, but turquoise being more on the bluer side and teal being more on the greenish side. So if you kind of put them on this color spectrum, one would be here, one would be here, and everything in between. If you were working in gemology, and you would say one is turquoise, one is chrysocolla, not chrysocolla, one was turquoise, one was malachite, and when you blend it together, you get a stone called chrysocolla. Chrysocolla could be on the bluer side or it could be on the greener side, depending on the amounts. So it's the same exact thing, and those are real gemstone colors. We're going to start with laying down a light layer of aquamarine. On here I'm going to have my highlight going down the middle, and I'm going to create that with a white pencil later on. So right now I just want to create this color. Now, of course, teal is not aquamarine, and it's going to be created, the color is going to be created as I layer. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now, I tried it with different laydowns. Laydowns make a difference in the color, because whatever's on top is going to be a more predominant color, and that's why I'm adding the blue to the bottom. If I added the green to the bottom, I would get a different shade. I'd still get aquamarine, but I would get a different shade of it. And as you can see, it's just very light. And I'm leaving a little bit of open space where my highlight's going to hit the most, because that's going to be white. Okay, so that's pretty much aquamarine. Now I'm going to take jade green and I'm going to lay that down on top of the aquamarine. Still have plenty of tooth on the page to play with. And I'm just covering up the aqua, shading it into a more green color. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, if you want to keep these sides even, work back and forth so that your layers stay pretty consistent. So I've got 2 layers of the green right now and a layer of the aquamarine. Now, if you prefer a little bit more of the green, I also did a couple of them with green ochre. And I am going to add a little bit of this down here. I have it already completed on another copy of this, and I like the way it looks, so you already know what I'm doing because I practice it. I have a whole other practice sheet over here. Now you're going to tint that and tone it. On the areas where you want it really dark, and that would be in this area and a little bit in this area, I'm going to be using my my cool gray. And that's because I chose cool gray because I'm blending it with my aquamarine. The blue goes with the cool. But you can use, I guess, warm gray too would work because it would react with the greens that you put in there. But I like working with my cools. I have a tendency of picking up cools faster than I do my warms. I don't know why. Personal preference. Doesn't make it right or wrong. And that's tinted this part down to the darkest of the teal that you can have. And then I'm going to take my white, and I want the middle part to be the lightest. So I'm going to blend that up with my white. And at the end, I should have pretty much a spectrum of the teal colors. Now, if you put too much on and it's not even, you can always go back with an eraser and remove a little bit. We do that all the time. And you want to make sure it's nice and blended. and even. So there you have a teal. After this, you can go back with your aquamarine, make it a little bit more blue. You can make it a little bit more green. It's all a matter of taste. See, right there, I would probably remove a little bit of the green. I'm gonna go get my eraser. Okay, I'm gonna remove a teeny tiny bit, just evening up my highlight. If you take too much off, you can always add a little. I'm going very lightly. And just a little bit on here. I'm toning it. I'm using my gray. My hands are very light. And then a little bit more of the aqua. Just to let the color become saturated and rich. And my jade. I'm just playing with the light, the highlight mark, just to get it even, and I like the way that looks. So as you can see, it does blend into the color teal, and how green or how blue the teal is up to you. I'm going to make her headdress, of course, teal, and I'm going to make her dress this little area and this little area over here in the teal colors. And then we'll work on, there's going to be teal in here also, and I'll just be working on it. But you get the main idea of how to create this color. It's those two pencils. Again, aquamarine and jade. Then you're going to add white to build the highlight and the lighter tones of it, and you're going to use the cool gray to create the darker tones that you want. And if you really want it on the greener side, you add in the ochre, the green ochre. And those are the color combinations for teal. So I think I'm getting paranoid. I had to go out for the first time today, and it was not even today, it was tonight. Let me just see. Okay. I had to go out tonight. I literally put on a mask, put on gloves, put my money in a plastic bag. I'm only using cash now because I don't want to put my card through anything and get that contaminated. I have my money in a plastic bag. That's how I went out. I would have worn a full-blown body wetsuit if I had to. So now it'll be about a week before I have to go out again. What did you guys think about Trump saying we can go out in 2 weeks? I don't want to make this a political thing, so please don't bash Trump. But for the love of God, don't. This is not ending in 2 weeks. to the point where we can go to church. Let me tell you something. God don't care where you pray. He can hear you. You don't have to be in a building with lots of people to say a prayer or anything like that. Your home is your church or temple. And it's funny because today my rabbi, or the head of the rabbis, came out with, we're going to cancel Passover. Now, not cancel it, but he's taking restrictions off of Passover. He's like kind of like the Pope. like the Pope can tell people they can eat, when they can eat fish, when they can eat meat. You know, they can change it as they feel it's necessary. So the head of the rabbis came out with the fact that, do what you can do for Passover, but do not have anybody come over for Passover. And that's a big thing. Part of the tradition on Passover is you invite even a stranger to your home for the Passover dinner. And he said, no, not this year. Not that we were going to this year. Last year we did it, but this year, no. My daughter's best friend came over yesterday. I swear to God, I wanted to spray her down with Lysol before she walked into the house. And then afterwards, I told my daughter that no more friends in the house. I didn't really know she was coming over. I would have said no. And it's like, this is a girl who's been in my home since she was a little girl. We love her dearly. We love her parents. I mean, these are people that I've spent Thanksgiving with. So I fed her and I told her, get out. And then today I was watching the news, and they were saying that somewhere they were having a Corona party, kids. And they had this Corona party and completely paying no attention to, the rules and everything of social distancing. And one of the people at the party came down with it. Idiots. Total idiots. God. I really like, this is a really good picture. I like it because there's a lot of small areas that I can just blend up. Tomorrow I'm going to do burgundy. Now these two colors are not in Prismacolor. These are going to be new colors for you to add to your repertoire of colors to create. And the burgundy is going to be like wine, a wine color. Okay, now a little bit of jade. Get that nice and blended. And then I'll go to my white and my gray. I hate to be a doom and gloomer and just talk about the virus. I've had a lot of messages from people. Barbara, I'm not going to say which Barbara. My prayers are with your family. Hugs to you, my friend. Olivia, call me. I'm not sure if my email went through to you, but I've been wanting to talk to you. Let's see. This is going by fast. And a little bit of white in there. Right down the center, just to give it a little shine. And a nice blend, and then we'll add the gray. A lot of people have been telling me that they're watching me every day. I'm going to take this past the 30 days if I need to. I may take 1 or 2 days off. Not yet. Tomorrow is bleach day. I have to bleach my house again. I mean, we bleach up our kitchen every day, but I meant like, you know, floors and all hard surfaces. So far, we're all healthy, besides a couple of days of my youngest having a little bit of a cold. I think there was something I was going to tell you guys. Having trouble keeping my father, not in the house, because I'll take his keys away if I have to. That hasn't been a problem. But keeping him in the back of the house away from the kids. So my husband and I got him, he loves shows, like Broadway shows, loves them. So we ordered him on television. We subscribed him to the Broadway show channel, and we're only putting it in his room. So it's not going to be on the main television. We figured that'll keep him in there for like hours. I mean, he listens to the music all day. So we figured that's a really good way of keeping him busy back there. Because it will not be good if he gets this. Not with COPD. Okay, and the last color is my gray. Just get it into here. I was going to show you the difference. I mean, because it looks very aqua, but I'm going to show you the difference between blues and teals in just a minute. Because it's hard to tell, like, when you're just looking at something like this. But you can really tell the difference when you look at the background of the picture I was working with. And I was really just working with the blues. I don't know if any of you guys watch Shoot the Shit on here. She's like a southern woman. She sits on her porch with her and her brother. And she's really very funny. And they're pretty sure she has it. My prayers are with her. Nice woman. Very nice woman. She's not in the coloring community. She's more in drama. I hate losing pictures. I didn't finish this one. I really should. I kind of like it. And I don't have that much more to do on it. Am I the only person who doesn't finish? I'm really, really bad. Here it is. So you can see the difference between blue and teal. And even some of these brighter blues and the teal. That a little bit darker. And remember, get your V's dark and your highlights light. Now, when I'm talking about V's, anything where a corner comes together like this, or on the shoulder, anywhere there's a triangular mark, where the two things meet is always darker. And the reason for that is because they'll shadow each other. So this side will shadow this side, so right in between will always be slightly darker. Do you guys ever remember me doing a video on always do this? I should, if I don't have one, I'm sorry, I have over 400 videos. I don't remember if I've done everything or actually finished everything. But I really should do a video on if I didn't do it. If anybody is reminded, remembers that or reminds me where I put it, it's all the rules that it's always. So that's an always. Always do that. The very last thing that I want to do is add just a very light top layer. Now, I was telling you that After you get everything blended, and with this color in particular, the lay down is very important. So the last color that I want to lay down on it is going to be the green ochre, and I'm going to do it very light and sparingly. And this just will give that hint of green that says this is not aqua, this is actually teal. I've already worked a little bit on it, so I don't have to do too much of it. And that will be it for now. This is definitely teal. I'm going to blend it up just slightly more. I'm going to work on it off camera just to get it real smooth. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do this in teal also, so tomorrow it'll already have been done. I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And remember, if you need me, just send me an email. Take care.